Okay, folks, it's time for some common sense advice. Now, as we all know, Teatime with Matt is steeped in literally minutes of tradition, which has shaped into a well-known and loved online radio show, which you can all enjoy today. Today, Teatime with Matt's common sense advice is going to show you how you can emulate our successful formula by using the same traditional techniques that we have used since we made them up half an hour before the show. This is Teatime with Matt's common sense advice on how to run a radio show in the traditional Teatime with Matt fashion. Gosh, that's a long title. Here's the common sense advice bed. Okay, step 1, location. Traditionally, Teatime with Matt was broadcast from a rundown studio in the grounds of a stately home, i.e. Middlesex University, Trent Park. This may not be the best option for you, as people or businesses that own stately homes may frown upon you turning up and setting up a studio in one of their outbuildings. Any location should do, provided you have access to a window for weather updates, and a reasonable internet connection which only occasionally drops out and disconnects your stream. Keep a traditional hammer with you to hit the router for when this happens. Step 2, setup. Teatime with Matt was once broadcast from a permanent, purpose-built studio. Sadly, this is no longer the case, as I do not have a spare room just lying around to install a studio in. Well, actually I do, but someone won't let me take it over because apparently my sister can't sleep in the bathroom, Mum! Gods! Anyway, as a result of this, Teatime with Matt has become a wandering nomad, necessitating the setting up of a studio every week. To set up your own wandering studio, you will need the following items: a portable mixing desk, a microphone, a broadcast PC, a music library or jingles PC. You may wish to substitute this for a tablet, CD player, cassette player, or whatever your preferred music playback device is. Line-in audio cables to link it all together. An internet router. A wired one is preferable, but wireless is more traditional and just the right amount of unreliable. And then you'll want gaffer tape stopping it all falling apart unexpectedly. Step 3, clothes. Most radio presenters turn up to work in comfortable trousers and a t-shirt. Not here on Teatime with Matt. A smart shirt, waistcoat and velvet jacket are the order of the day. If your studio is quite warm, like this one, it is acceptable to dispense with the jacket, but a waistcoat must be worn at all times. It is tradition after all. 4, content. Your show cannot happen without some content, although I do tend to prove that wrong most weeks. Traditionally, Teatime with Matt's content was made up on the spot about half an hour before the show. These days we're a bit more organised, so we do all our prep work a week in advance. Usually. You'll need to prepare some notes about your chosen topic, get together some songs that are relevant to your topic, and of course know what content you need to make up as you go along, such as the weather or the bedtime story. Improvisation is a traditional part of what makes this show so funny after all. 5. The pre-show cup of tea. For most studio spaces, it is unacceptable to bring liquid in while you do your show. If you're a risk taker like me and you own your own equipment, then bringing a cup of tea into the studio is probably okay. Otherwise, you'll want to get this one out the way beforehand. The traditional cup of tea is made with a tea bag, 1 sugar and a drop of milk, not to be confused with the dash of milk, which is a completely different unit of measurement. On no account should the milk be put in first. That is an abomination unto the tea, and anyone found doing so will be sconed to death. No, that's not a slip of the tongue. We will throw stale scones at you until you die. 6. Do the show. For 2 hours, you must be entertaining for your listeners. Do not take your audience for granted, no matter how large or small they are. They are traditionally what makes the show as good as it is. Without the audience interaction, it's just you sat in a room talking to yourself. And traditionally, we put those kinds of people off to the asylum. Just putting that out there. Have fun! And that was Teatime with Matt's common sense advice on how to run a radio show in the traditional Teatime with Matt fashion. As usual, it comes with the caveat that Teatime with Matt accepts no responsibility for you attempting to do common sense advice that we've given you on the air. Because if you do that, you're an idiot, and you should be beaten with sticks in the traditional manner that Rory described earlier. So don't do it, because, you know, we're quite stupid on this show.